My mother canceled my flight and texted me one line, "Walk home." I read it twice, laughed, and typed back, "You sure?" 2 minutes later, my parents' car came speeding back toward the terminal. But by then, it was too late. "My name is Vanessa Cole, I'm 34, and that message reached me, standing at a check-in kiosk at Denver International Airport. My reservation had disappeared from the system. The agent checked twice and told me the ticket had been canceled online less than an hour earlier by the same account that booked it. My mother had dropped me at a different terminal entrance, smiling like nothing was wrong. I called my parents, my sister, my brother. No one picked up. Then the text came, "Walk home." I opened the family trip account, still registered under my name. I laughed once and replied, "You sure?" 5 minutes later, the family's UV pulled back to the curb. They searched for me, called my phone over and over. By then, I was already in a rideshare, watching their names light up my screen from the back seat. By the time I reached the highway, my mother had called 9 times. I ignored everyone and opened the booking app instead. The mountain cabin in Sedona, the rented Suburban, the prepaid canyon tour, all of it was under my account, paid with my card. I canceled the cabin and the SUV while they were still inside the refund window. The tour offered credit, so I moved that money back into my own travel balance. I didn't touch anyone's plane tickets. I didn't take a cent that wasn't mine. I only removed what I had personally paid for. Then I called my aunt, Patricia. She picked up on the second ring. "Did your father cancel your ticket? Because you wouldn't co-sign that equipment loan?" That question told me the whole thing hadn't been a spontaneous joke. My father, Douglas Cole, ran a landscaping and hardscaping company outside Boulder 2 weeks earlier. He'd asked me to guarantee a loan for new machinery and a second work truck. The monthly payment was higher than my mortgage. I reviewed the numbers, told him the business couldn't support that debt, and said no. Apparently, that answer needed to be punished. I worked as senior claims analyst for an insurance firm in Denver. My job was to spot expensive problems before they became disasters. I'd built a stable life, saved carefully, and lived within my means, and for years, my family had treated that stability like a shared account they could dip into whenever they wanted. For 4 years, I'd quietly kept them afloat. I paid part of my sister Brooke's nursing school tuition directly to the college. I covered the payment on the flatbed truck my father's crew used every day. I set up an installment, planned with the county after my parents fell behind on property taxes, and paid the first few installments myself. I put a refundable deposit down on tools and a used van for my brother, Tyler's food truck idea. And this Sedona trip meant to celebrate my mother, Carol's 60th birthday. I'd paid for the cabin, the vehicle, and most of the activities. My father bought the flights so we could sit together. I paid him back for my own seat the same day. Patricia sighed before she told me the rest. My father had said I needed reminding of who helped me get where I am. He called me arrogant for questioning the loan. He believed a few hours of panic at the airport would make me cooperative again. I opened my banking app before she finished talking. Brooke's tuition transfer, scheduled for next month, voluntary, so I canceled it. The truck payment, voluntary, so I stopped it. The property tax gift, voluntary, so I removed it. Tyler's equipment deposit was refundable and mine, so I requested it back. Anything already paid, I left alone. Anything that wasn't mine, I left alone. I didn't take a single dollar that belonged to someone else. I saved screenshots of the canceled booking, my reimbursement receipt, and the walk-home text, and forwarded them to Patricia and to myself. My father left a voicemail an hour later, his voice missing all its earlier confidence. "Vanessa, this was supposed to teach you a lesson, not turn into this. Restore everything and we'll talk when you land." My mother's message came a minute after that. She didn't ask if I was safe. She asked me to restore the cabin before their flight took off. I answered once, no, they boarded anyway. My father apparently assumed he could rebook everything once they arrived. He couldn't. Same-day lodging in Sedona cost triple what I'd paid months earlier. The only vehicles left were either too small or absurdly overpriced. They spent one night at an airport hotel, argued through dinner, and flew home the next morning. When they landed, my father sent a group text saying, "I'd ruined my mother's birthday over a harmless joke." I didn't answer. I watched their flight status change to arrived, closed the app, and waited. They were home, with their luggage and their anger, with no idea yet how much else had just been canceled. 3 days later,